Lying awake with the sound of an emptiness you left behind. Trying to sleep, but the silence is haunting this room every night. Oh, I wish the sun would rise and see the clouds pass by. I didn't want to say goodbye to you, but you're gone.
Hello, happy peoples. Hope you guys are doing great. Bit of a different video today. Yeah. Part of sharing our life with YouTube and just sharing what we have going on, including you guys, and at least the major things that happen. And so many of you guys have been with us for years. I don't know, with that kind of goes, we always share kind of like the edited highlights of our day, but, of course, when serious things happen or things happen, we feel like we need to bring you along. And, a lot of our vlogs, of course, are edited. My wife edits all the videos. And sometimes I wish we could edit out parts of our lives. Like the last, whatever that was, a couple years ago when we had the cancer stuff, and we're just like, wish we could just wave a wand and have things go away and have them be where we want. But we couldn't do that then, and we can't do this now. Great grandma passed away about 2 days ago. And I should probably have my wife out here talking, but I was trying to save her. She's probably gonna attempt to edit this, so I was trying to save her from that. Maybe I'll bring Audrey out here in a little bit, but great grandma passed away, and we're gonna miss her. She was 92. Sorry. Maybe some backstory for you, those of you that don't know. Grandma's been ready to go for a long time, and she's talked about, that, hey, she's ready to meet Jesus. She's good to go. She honestly said she doesn't know why she's been around this long. But I knew why she was around this long. She's around this long for us. She's around this long to give us encouragement, to pull us together as a family. Some of you maybe that are watching, they're a little older, and you kind of are wondering, what is your purpose? Because maybe you're at a stage of life where you have, a lot more struggles. But you still have purpose. It's just very different. Grandma was able to influence my daughter. So my daughter's great grandma, she got to have one-on-one time with her, which is very special. Sorry. Okay, I'll back it up here a little bit. 2 days ago, I got a call. Early in the morning, I was still sleeping. I got a call from my mom. So I answered right away, just from a complete dead sleep. And Mom said, "Grandma fell. How soon can you get here?" And without even thinking, I just threw my clothes on that I had the previous day. Hopped in the truck. My wife woke up and was like, "What's going on?" And I was appreciative that I had a 5-liter V8 in my truck, because I used all 5 of those liters to get over to my parents' house. And Mom said she had fallen, and my parents could not pick her up. And when I got to the house, Grandma always insists that she goes to the bathroom by herself. She does not want anyone else in there. We have rails, and you wheel the wheelchair in position, and she does her own thing. She's very adamant about that. She wouldn't let anyone else in there. But this one particular time, she didn't quite make it or something happened. I honestly don't know, because she doesn't want anyone there when she goes to the bathroom. My mom goes in just to check on her, and she had fallen down, and she told my mom, she said, "Wendy, I fell down, I hit my head, and my neck hurts." And so that's when Mom called me. I went out there at a high rate of speed, and they had put a pillow under her head, and she was only semi responsive when I got to her. Of course, I'm just hopped up on adrenaline, so I just like hopped up on adrenaline, so I just scoop her up like a baby and bring her to her chair. And they had already called the hospice nurse, and she was breathing, but I could tell she was definitely under duress. When I had picked her up, she started to throw up, but it didn't quite get all the way out, so it kind of got stuck in her sinuses, and I have sinus problems, so I can relate. So hospice nurse was on the way, and like her jaw had tensed up, so she was only breathing out her nose. So I was sitting there with her head in my, just pull down her mouth to have her be able to breathe out her mouth, because I noticed it was a lot easier for her to breathe out her mouth. But her jaw was tense, so if I just put steady pressure, I could kind of slowly get her mouth to open. At that time, my sister Heidi shows up, because in the midst of all this, she had this big photo shoot scheduled for that day. And Grandma was looking forward to being in her photo shoot. So Heidi's there. I call my wife. I tell her she should probably just show up. Hospice nurse shows up. And the nurse, she did great. She's like, all right. So she goes, I can tell, because she wasn't, answering to her name, but her eyes would kind of open halfway when you'd call her. And she says, okay, I can tell she seems to have a concussion. We can bring her to the hospital if you like, and we can do a CAT scan. And this is the problem, is Grandma had expressed wishes to never go to the hospital and to never be resuscitated, because she was, like I said, she was beyond ready to go. So that puts us all in this weird spot. So we're like, okay, well, what should we do? And the nurse says, well, I can give her some morphine. I can't really give her oral. I can give a little bit under her lip, and then because she says when I grabbed her neck, she kind of winced in pain a little bit, so I can tell she's in pain. She already told you she was in pain, so they gave her some morphine. She goes, she'll probably rest all day, but she says, there is a chance she could have a head injury. So we're like, oh my gosh, what do you do? What do you do? So Audrey shows up with my wife, and we're just there watching her, and the hospice nurse left. She says, call me if you want me to come back. She goes, I would just keep an eye on her today. Keep an eye on her breathing, and hope she just needs to try to rest. And if it ends up, being worse, then we'll know sooner than later. So Audrey shows up, and of course, then that's the hardest too. I was holding it together pretty well until Audrey showed up, because Audrey, she got real close to Grandma, and she just throws her arms around Grandma. So I was concerned about her vitals, because I could feel a pulse. I could see her breathing and stuff. So I said, Audrey, take your Fitbit off and put it on Grandma so we can see her heart rate. So she did that. And we were just kind of watching her. Every now and then I would go kind of pull down on her jaw. Someone took a picture of this this is the picture they took while Audrey and I were over there I was trying to pull down her jaw a little bit to get her to breathe a little bit easier. Then she took a really big deep breath, and then we were wondering, okay, is this the morphine working or what's going on? She took a deep breath, kind of sat up. I don't think her eyes opened, but she just took a really deep breath and then fell back. And Audrey's like, did you go? She's like, did you go home, Grandma? And we were looking at her Fitbit, and it couldn't read a heartbeat. So we called the hospice nurse back, and she said that she was gone. And it got real quiet in there. It's interesting. Everyone in my family takes things a little bit differently. Like, I do fine unless I think about it or, talk about it. And then, I don't know, it kind of comes in waves, right? So some of our family are struggling more than others. Audrey was just, I'm glad she was there. My wife has been struggling too. Audrey did outstanding. She was very emotional. But once she was gone, it was kind of like a peaceful, it was good. Audrey grew up. Audrey grew up that day. Actually, maybe I'll have her come talk to you guys real quick. Now see.
It's okay.
What are you gonna miss the most about Grandma?
She always laughed when I said something very stupid. Just loved the way that I was. Like, she loved my dancing for. I could be myself around her. I was very comfortable around her. I walked in, all of a sudden, I just looked at her and inside of myself, I just could feel sadness and not very good feelings, just feeling very down inside. I had a pretty strong feeling that it was going to happen.
Did you?
Yeah, I could kind of tell. Just cried a lot.
You're doing pretty good now, though, right?
And I'm doing okay. I'm still trying to go through the process, though. Trying to get, used to not going downstairs and, just taking her to the bathroom or combing her hair.
Well, Grandma always used to watch the vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing... Oh, gosh. I don't do well with emotions.
Daddy.
So, I'm guessing she's probably still watching them from up in heaven. What would you want to tell her if you were talking to her right now in heaven?
Well, I would let her know. I would let her know that she was the best great-grandma ever, and that I really miss her, and that I wish she had more time with me, and I wish that she could have watched me become a CNA. Just tell her that I miss her a whole bunch, and that I miss the times that we had together and stuff, so. But it was a good time.
Yep.
I'm grateful that I got to know her and become closer with her.
Yep.
So.
Good job, kid. Sorry for such a sad vlog. My goodness. Kind of how we are right now. Even through this, though, the cool thing was, Audrey was able to witness to some family members, be able to talk to them about Jesus. And it kind of just puts things in perspective. Some people are really into their career, making money, or you're into, I don't know, collecting, maybe you like fast cars, or, whatever, cool thing that we're into. And there's a lot of cool things going on, but sometimes we get so wrapped up into our life that we forget that we do have a time, there's a time for all of us. Sometimes our lives can be so busy with even fun things, and good things, that we forget that our time with our loved ones can be very short. Our time on here on earth can be short. So I'd encourage you, if you're not a person of faith, maybe carve a little time to figure some of that stuff out. And I think it's very important. It was neat seeing Audrey be able to, witness even to some family members. Just much emotion this one. We appreciate you guys being there. You guys have been with us through so much, so many important things, fun things, amazing things, happy things. And unfortunately, this is just a process, and this is I mean, but it's not unfortunate for her. So Grandma is very happy where she is. It's just we're going to miss her, is what it boils down to. My uncle has a cabin down Chena Hot Springs Road. There's a little creek that goes right next to the cabin. She wanted to be cremated, and she wanted her ashes spread into the creek while my wife sings a song. So that's the plan there. Not sure when this is going to be. This might end up being this year, but trying to get all the family here. We might actually schedule it more for next year. And she didn't want a funeral. She just wanted to have her ashes spread at my uncle's cabin at the creek. That's what she wanted. And she wants everyone to be happy. She goes, I don't need sad times, so I'm already breaking that. Grateful Grandma could get to see Garrett get baptized, be able to spend time with her grandkids and her great-grandkids. I mean, that is so cool and so special. So with that, we're going to call this one a wrap. Appreciate you guys sitting on the porch with us. See you in the next video.